and fans, unholy as always, I am the psychotic swamp rat, the unholy killing machine, and the patriarch of the motherfucking dark, the unholiest of icons. Say it with me, Darken Graves. And like I say on every show special, but tonight is something. Let's think of it back to the to Raw whenever Vince McMahon introduced Eric Bischoff as his new general manager, and they came out and they did the big hug. And Jerry Lawler talked about this is the guy who used to wish death on Eric Bischoff every week. Nobody ever thought that would happen. Well, tonight's not quite like that, but it's similar because nobody ever thought that this reconciliation could happen. But I could be more happier about it. My guest is not just a guest; he's a very guest for a number of reasons. He's not only a 12-time world champion, he's also a 6-time Hall of Famer. He was the owner, and believe it or not, he is also my teacher. You know, you have a lot of mentors in your career. Thomas Austin, Ethan Carnage, and Damian Lee Guy are people that I can consider my mentors. But the man who taught me how to, the fundamentals of how to promote, the man who is responsible for the intensity of Darken Graves. And, I owe him a lot for that. And I'm glad to be friends with him again. And I want to bring him on right now. He's a Hall of Famer. He's a legend. He is Canada's own, the Hammer, Tony Morrison. What's going on, Hammer?
How you doing?
How's it going, brother?
Doing well.
Good, man. Good to see you. This is kind of surreal, isn't it? Over. That's what I wrote on the. That's how I built it. But I make a lot of trips to hell, and I don't like I don't like my hell to be frozen over that much. So we'll thaw it out after it's over with. But how you been, man? How's life been treating you up in the great white north?
It's doing good, but the age I'm starting to feel.
The what?
The age is starting to kick up on me.
Oh, I thought you said the AIDS. I was about to say it has been a long time.
No. Don't be a fool.
We're gonna talk about. We're gonna have a fun time tonight. I know we're gonna talk about some good shit. I know there's like two different sets of people that's gonna be watching this. There's gonna be the new generation that doesn't know that me and you have a history, and there's gonna be the older generation that's gonna be like, whoa, Hammer and Darken are sitting here talking and not cursing at each other. So yeah, man, I thought we'd shoot the shit for a minute, man. You're in the World Cup. How are you enjoying the World Cup? You give me your opinion on it. I'll give you mine.
I'm enjoying it. It's my second World Cup. Last year we actually won, which is kind of cool.
You did.
But it's fun, but it is exhausting. I don't have much bad to say about it. I think the thing I like about it is it gives you opportunities to go up against people you probably never would have the chance to anywhere else. Like there's times where you can get a comp fed going up against, like IW, guys like that you would not see, and stuff like that. So I like that part of it. But then there's a lot of drama. There's a lot of drama because of it all as well. So,
Hey, Lexi. That's my thing with it. I've never competed in a World Cup, and I probably never will. I always thought about getting with a couple guys and forming a rival World Cup. I mean, if there's rival E-Feds, why not rival World Cups? Because you're right. Whenever it's cool to see people like Scott Chambers and Justin Klein go up against each other, and Angel Zero and Iron Bison go up against each other. But then you got to deal with the whining, the crying, the comment section. People like who we talked about earlier. I'm not going to mention his name because his name carries no value. It doesn't deserve to be mentioned. But I digress. I love Grant Miller. I have the most respect in the world for Grant Miller. But, you know, him judging by himself, you know, that's it. That just tells you right away half the people that lose are going to be pissed off and they're going to cry about it. And it takes away from what you said. I think we get to see those matches that we never get to see, but nobody's going to remember them. They're just going to remember all the drama and the crap and the bullshit. So,
you know, this is how I put it. Grant Miller, I have the utmost respect for that guy.
great guy.
By the way, just because I have a little ego, he's never beaten me yet. Just saying.
You and an ego?
What do you mean?
When'd you get that?
I don't remember which Hall of Fame it came in, but one of those. No, but Grant Miller's super.
WWPO, probably.
Yeah. Oh my lord.
Hey, they come in third last year.
Oh yeah. Oh man. But no, Grant is one of the best guys in this game. He really loves this business, what we do.
He is.
You know, and him taking this whole thing on by himself, wow. You know, I don't know how he does it. But even if you had 4 judges, 6 judges, or 8 judges, I'll be straight with you. And the guys in the game will find a way. They'll play him. I lost, you know, my first match against Puerto Rican Hector, and I don't know much about this guy. And I was like, "What the hell happened?" You know.
He doesn't like me.
But I just moved on. You know. Okay. You know what? I felt somebody's seen something more, and I just go to the next one. I don't have to like it, but you know, crying about it to me is just going to give me a reputation I don't want.
Yeah, well, there's a difference between crying and calling bullshit sometimes. Yeah, that Hector guy, he doesn't like me at all. After what I thought I straight wrote garbage underneath this stuff. I mean, I'm not competing in it, but that don't mean I can't comment in it. Everybody else is going to comment, so why not? Why not comment?
It is what it is. Sure, yeah. I mean, you know, it's social media. You know, it doesn't matter where it is, what it is. Everybody's gonna have an opinion. So some people might not like it, but that's what it is.
If I could ask you, besides yourself, of course, give me 5 guys that you think are just killing it right now so far. I mean, I know it just started, but
5 in the World Cup, 5 guys are killing it. I have to say, you know, one would be I have to go with Chambers because he's I've known him for so long, but just to see how he responded to the promo with Klein was amazing to see.
Seems like he's kind of resurrected himself a little bit. Huh?
Yeah, he has. He's got a new fire under him, you know.
Hungry.
And he's really. I guess it's Scott Chambers' second coming. You know, he's getting up there in age.
Yeah,
but
it won't be too many more trips to the bank. He's only got so many more trips to the bank.
Exactly. Another one.
What's up, Scott?
I really have to say is another guy who I took under my wing was Iron Bison.
Yeah, this is where we would disagree. I do like Iron Bison. Actually, Iron Bison, we talked today about him coming on the show. I thought he was going to be on it, but I just think that my boy Angel's, I guess maybe it's more my style. I just think it was the better promo.
You know, nonetheless, you know, there's going to be a lot of guys going to go. You see,
he's only been doing it for 10 months.
Yeah. See, I didn't watch a lot, and that's not because I don't like watching the guys' promo, but because, you know, all the drama that was kicking in, it kind of took away from me really caring what was going on out there. I was kind of sitting back saying, hey, you know what? I lost my match. SCW has 2 points. Who's next? What's next? Let's move this shit on and get back to it. And if we could have a round that came to town and Now it's tag team match. Now it's me and Doomsayer, which is, to me, I think we would make a great tag team, no doubt.
Y'all going against each other next?
So, but we're going up against Johnny Rockstar and some dude, I can't even think of his name. I never heard of the guy. Something between Thunder and Storm. I don't know who he is.
Mike Storm?
Might be something Storm, Thunder. I don't think it was Mike, though. I didn't catch the first. It was no first name. It was almost like his name was just something with a Storm or Thunder.
It's not Michael Windsor Jr.?
Again, never got a first name. I'm still waiting on it so I can see when it gets written out so I know who he is.
Short guy with blonde hair.
But there is a guy I know. I know who you're talking about. I actually saw one of that guy's promos, and I think it's epic.
Yeah, he was in the home fed that my home fed New Era Wrestling. But he's about to go exclusive.
Oh boy!
I wish him the best. I wish him the best.
You know what? We'll just say rest in peace.
No, I don't want to. I don't want to go that far because I love the kid.
No, but my whole point is not about him. It's not rest in peace because of him. It's because of where. I find it's like if you watch WWE, okay. Now, you take somebody like Cody Rhodes. Now, Cody Rhodes all of a sudden went back to WWE, right? WWE would squash everything he's ever done. But if he stays where he is, or even Don Moxley or any of them, where they're wrestling now is they're going to be stars. But if they went to WWE again, they would just be commercial stars.
Windsor's a smart kid. He just turned 18. I think I think he's just really excited, and I'm excited for him. I mean, he loves to promo, but I think he'll see through. What eventually.
Yep, and hopefully he does. Like I said,
I did a lighter.
I did. Yep.
1 second. I'm still listening though.
Okay. I mean, I saw through it from the beginning, and I have no bad words to say about it anymore. I mean, I'm beyond that. But I think if you have morals and you have integrity and all that, I think you just stand up for yourself. You see something you don't like, you see something you don't agree upon, I think you'll just stand up and say enough is enough, and you'll do your thing, no matter what. So it all depend on, for one, how badly do you want it, how gullible you are, and how much morals you have to make the decision to stay or go. At the end of the day, that's what it comes to.
Thanks a lot.
No, but that's the thing. We all been sucked in. That's the truth. We've all been sucked in by I'm going to make you a star, do the exclusive. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. We've all fallen for it. I mean, I have. That's where I began my career. That's where I started. And I got sucked in. I got spit out, and I came back crawling in and did it again. I mean, it is what it is. But I think when you finally get to the end of the line where you just feel like you're good enough, you don't need that attached to your name anymore. If you can go anywhere you want and be your own,
that's what I did.
Your own self, then you start really realizing that you don't need anybody else. But
speaking of that, that's really all I want to talk about that company anymore tonight. I try to leave them out of my podcast as little as I can. Because I like to talk about the future, the up and coming feds. And here's the other. You heard from Lexi a while ago. Here's the other member of the Hill family. They are the Hill sisters, like me and Titan are the Hill brothers. This is the wicked one, Lenore Lynn. Have you ever heard of her, Brooke Phillips?
No. Yes, I have. Yes, I have. I've saw some of her stuff. I have.
Great stuff.
Definitely good stuff. I love it. I just love seeing more women do this because that's something I think the promos need more women. And
That
to
was
see women, do so well like that, yeah, it's definitely awesome to see.
whenever I first left the Land of Two Letters and went to ACW for a little while. I told Dan Ness that it was going to be for a short period of time because it was mainly for me and Titan to reunite. Because me and Titan, we've been 6-time tag team champions in 6 different feds, which I think is a pretty good accomplishment. So we wanted to go for our 7th one, which we will find that out later on tomorrow, I believe. But anyway, I'm getting off track. We went back in as the Hell Brothers. I started noticing Brooke's work and fell in love with it. And I told Dan I wanted to match with her. I wanted to put her over like right away. I wanted her to beat me. He said, "No, let's have her work with you." So they made something. He made us the Hell Family, and it was me, Titan, and Brooke. And yes, Lexi, we know you. I know you. Do you know Kara Cross?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Lexi Havoc.
No, I don't think I recall the name.
She's the newest member of the Hell family. So we got the Hell brothers and the Hell sisters, 4 of us, and we make up the Hell family.
That's awesome.
That was my idea to add the 2 women, the 2.
No, that's awesome. I mean,
the 2.
The women I find in the last year or so that women are really, really, knocking the doors down, and that's awesome. I really love it.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to more. And I don't know a lot of the women or a lot of even the new guys by name. Sometimes I got to see the face because
you'll know
in this game that's what you normally get to see first, face, and you learn the name later. So,
spoiler alert. I'm going to give away. I know you said you were thinking about giving away a secret later. I'm not going to say anything about it. That's up to you. But I'm going to give away a little bit of a secret. I'm resurrecting someone's old Fed right now.
Oh yeah.
And the main event of that Fed, for the first pay-per-view, the first event, is going to be Dark Graves against a female wrestler. And I'll just give you a hint. Her name starts with an I.
I think I know who we're talking about.
Let's don't say her name, but I think that would be something that would tear the fucking house down.
I think it would too. I agree. She has really knocked it down. I mean,
oh my God.
And I talk to her quite often. We go back and forth a lot, and I really like her stuff.
I think Brooke's talking to you.
Oh, I'm getting old. I don't got my glasses on. I gotta go closer.
Yeah, he's like 65.
I'm telling you, man.
I remember when I was a little kid watching Hammer at WrestleMania 6 as a referee in Toronto. He's the one. Hammer's the one that actually passed the microphone to what's his face? Who's saying the national anthem? This is going to bother me. If I don't remember this, it's going to bother me. Robert Goulet. Hammer actually passed the microphone to Robert Goulet at WrestleMania 6. Not really.
That's true.
So, you never did tell me though. Give me 3 more guys you like in the World Cup right now, and then we're going to move on to.
Well, I can't ever say anything about one of the guys who mentored me. And I always think the guy kills it, whether I like him, hate him, or want to knock his teeth down his throat. Bubba Boudreaux.
Oh, I thought you were going to talk about my mentor, Ethan Carnage.
Well, man, Ethan Carnage, I'm telling you, that guy's in a class of his own.
Yeah.
I mean, Ethan Carnage, he's like always on the list. It doesn't matter where he goes, what he does. If Ethan Carnage is not on your list somehow, some way, you don't know how this game plays. But Ethan Carnage is like my absolute favorite.
Lexi. Sounds like there's some bad blood there.
There might be, eh?
It might be. I'm sorry that you had to see that. But no, Ethan. With all due respect to you and to Scott and to Bubba and everybody, there's no way anybody could ever convince me that he's not the greatest to ever do this.
Oh man, he's like I said, he was actually when I actually had the opportunity to compete against him.
Yeah, you look
for another place. And I still sit there to this day and I'm like, seriously? I mean, I literally think that I got screwed because he should have won it, because I'm like, no, are you serious? But he was such a class act. He hit me up on Messenger and started talking to me and told me congrats and all this. And I know I picked his brain a little bit and asked him some pointers. He gave me some, and I took them and I really ran with them. And he's a guy that what's that?
He will always do that for you.
Oh yeah. And even to this day, sometimes I'll shoot him up a message and just say hey and how things are going, whatnot. And utmost respect for that guy. I can't say anything bad at all.
Put me on the map. Put me on the map. So yeah, let's let me get a hold of my banners here. We got a lot of stuff to talk about here.
Really?
The beginnings of a storied history. And of course, we're talking about the beginnings of Hammers Championship Wrestling. My first EFED. My first match that I lost against Gordy Kenyon, of all people. How embarrassing.
It really brings you back and makes you think, eh? Like, some of the guys, especially when they're still around.
Makes me cry.
Yeah. It can do that to you. It really can. But I miss those days. I really do. We had
tell everybody about how it wasn't always Hammers Championship Wrestling.
No, the long story about it is basically I got into promoing, and of course I started in where, and then I got recruited by the W3PO. Didn't know much about them. Came in, thought it was cool, and we were just not having some fun over there. It just seemed like it was a bunch of bull crap. We just weren't getting what we wanted. We didn't like it.
By the way, I'm waiting on my Hall of Fame induction, motherfucker.
So we finally, I met someone, and he was trying to help me out, and he said, I said, why don't you start your own place? And he did, called it TEW. And he basically right from the beginning. I mean, I barely had 3-4 matches in, and I was already like part owner of a company. So yeah, it did really. It started pretty quick.
Are we talking about my best friend?
Oh yeah, definitely. And
love that guy.
So went from there, and then of course they basically couldn't do it anymore, so I had to take it and do it myself. So I did what I could. Some of the things I was doing, I knew that you had to do it to bring the people in. You couldn't, he wanted a PG. I said, you ain't going to win a PG Fed around here. You're going to have to, get what you can get. And he didn't like that. He said, well, I don't like the fact that the name is going that way. So I decided to change the name. I said, well, how about I change the name? And then you don't have to worry about your name going down. And then the first thing we came out with, which was actually, it came out to be TCW for a little while. Real short time. And a lot of us didn't like it. And one of the guys who taught me how to do this game says to me, he's like, why don't you just call it Hammers Championship Wrestling, dude? Just do what you want to do. Do the rest.
And you didn't want to call it that.
I didn't want to call it that because I thought, calling it that, people were just going to say, oh, this guy's got a crazy ego. He's going to call a place after himself. But people kept telling me, well, man, nobody's ever done it. Nobody's ever really came out and called a Fed after their character name. And I said, you know what? What the hell? We'll try it. Put a vote on it. Everybody loved it. Thought it was a cool idea. And it was born. And from that point on, it was almost like, it sounds weird, but it was almost like the TEW, TCW, and an HCW went from being old school to almost like this attitude era in the promo world.
Well,
Where
a lot of great guys that may not have been great at the time, but that are great now, started out in that company.
yeah, and that was the coolest thing. Bringing people in, like like Bubba Boudreaux came in because he was one of the big guys, and his brother T-Bone, the late great Hackshaw, Billy Duggan.
Have yourself a pissy day.
Yeah, exactly. We had him. We had Chambers and Trash Truck was there. I mean, all these guys that were big in other places just decided to come over here, and these were big names at the time. So I was just rolling with it.
You had the Raging Cajun, Chad Thibodeau.
We had the Raging Cajun, when he came in.
And he introduced you to
somebody. He introduced me to this little white punk who would like to jump off roofs through a table and thought he was a promo star.
I owe Chad Thibodeau a lot for that.
Yeah.
I remember the day that when I first learned what EFED was. See, I didn't realize it, but I was already doing EFED, but I just didn't know I was. I was EFED
exactly
myself.
I remember Chad coming up to me and telling me he was bringing somebody in and wanted to know if I could kind of, put them in the right direction. And I think that was, if I can remember back far enough, I think that's how it started, where I actually started talking to you, I believe.
We talked one time, and you said, give me about 5 minutes worth of, give me about a 5-minute promo. And I gave you what I got, what I had at the time. That was, God, you realize it's been 3.5 years ago. And he was like, come on in. And lost my first 4 matches and finally won one against Tag Ginnivan.
Oh, yeah. I remember, and that's what I still do to this day. People say, hey, Hammer, I need some help. I was like, yeah, cut me some. That's what I always do.
What's wrong, Lexi? And by the way, Dear Ghost, Puff the Magic Dragon, hello, my friend. I hope I didn't hurt you too bad last night, the Dusty Rhodes Classic. And I hope Emergency Dear Ghost is okay as well. I guess I'm neglecting the comment section here.
Okay.
Lexi, what in the world? Rolled eyes. Okay. Not sure why, but talk later. I know what this is about. Anyway, so we, a lot of things happened for me personally. I don't want to spend the whole time talking about me and HCW, but one thing I do want to talk about is that's where I met Lane Kelly.
Mm-hmm.
And at the time he was Daniel Strong. I told this story a lot of times. And I remember you and me butting heads a little bit. Because it was baptism through fire. You put us in our first tag team match against Douglas O'Shea in Deliverance.
Oh yeah.
And
face fear.
And Douglas, and I still say to this day, and Lane does too, based on just promo, just on speaking, we had that match won. But Douglas O'Shea, I remember he had the devil voice and the red trees, and I was talking to you. I remember this exactly. And I said, look, I'm sitting here talking shit, telling him I'm going to beat his ass, put him in this hold, and all he's showing me is red trees. And Hammer says, look, if he's saying there's red trees there, there's red trees there. If he's showing you red trees, you see red trees.
That was the one thing that I in HCW that I tried to stay away from, and that was judging. Because, bringing people in and befriending a lot of people and training people and, having buddies around, I kind of said I had a judging team. and I let them do their thing. And I did that for a lot of reasons. One was because I like to compete, and I didn't want to be the guy who's in the judging room, and that's I needed to be. If somebody couldn't come in, I would come in and give my opinion. But you know, I always liked the guys that we had to judge. So when people come up to me and says, "Hammer, how the hell did I lose, man? What the hell I make do?" I'll give you what I think of why you lost. But the truth be told, man, I don't really know. The judges are what they're looking at, what they're looking for. And, you know,
me myself, I never had a problem with you when you were judging, or Richard.
Bindle.
Yeah, I never had a problem with him. It was always Robin and Ken Perry, because you know me and Ken Perry, that was a doomed friendship beginning. But when Robin Steiner tells me that that I didn't win the United States from the U.S. title from Scott Chambers when I should have, because he was too drunk and he couldn't see straight to judge my promo, that's whenever I did one of my famous live takeovers.
Oh yeah, I remember those. I had to cut a few of those out. Don't I remember?
Don't feel bad. I did that in WKP once, and I did that in Dylan Belcher or Tombstone or whatever he's called now, because he made fun of my mother, who was a breast cancer survivor. And I took his company hostage for like 3 hours, and he didn't even think to cut it, and just ran him down for like 3 hours.
You see, like when people didn't understand, like me cutting someone's live, I wasn't cutting someone's live to be a dick to them, but I was also trying to protect the company, because the more drama people saw, there were so many people that didn't like them, they would drift away, go to another company. All right. They would say, "Oh, we don't want to deal with this." So that's when I started making a policy. If anybody sees lives going up and it's starting to sound negative, shut it, and let's hit them up personally on Messenger. We'll deal with it. We'll hash it out, and then we'll move on from it. And to this day, if more companies did that, I honestly think the drama would be dropping real quick.
But would you admit that seeing me now that I've, as green as I was back then, I know that those were mistakes and stuff. Would you agree with me that I've kind of got a little more class to myself about when it comes to doing stuff like that now? Kind of.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean,
that level to where
I think in the game it doesn't matter how old. This is funny. I'm gonna say, I trained a guy. I'll tell his name. His name is Brother Moses. Okay. Now the man is in his 50s. Okay, but the guy looks up to me. In the game of promos, you still have to mature. It doesn't matter how old you are in the real world, because in the promo world, you're just a little baby pup. Until you start making your name up here, you start getting bigger and older and maturing and all this, because anybody from anywhere in the world, you could be 30, 40, 50, and all of a sudden you have a match and you get your ass whooped. You're going to come in here and start bitching and moaning because you don't get it.
Or you can be 175 like Chris Payne.
So what I say is, like, yourself, from what I've seen of your stuff, you know, I can see that you've gotten a hell of a lot better. You've brought character to your, you brought character to the game. You got the dark side of everything, but you speak clear, you know, and you just really bring the story to it, and you bring the intensity when needed. A lot of my problem was I brought intensity, man. I was like Ultimate Warrior in this motherfucking place. Seriously, man, I was yelling at the camera like I was going to eat the son of a bitch. And I realized that
I never heard you talk about taking off in a spaceship going to outer space.
Exactly. He just had a little more, a little more comic book style of his character. But so I started learning different things, and watching you develop was nice to see, because anybody who I've ever helped, even if it was like a little thing, I always enjoyed watching them, like, a year or two later to see where they've been. But like in your situation, you've really come along with a lot of things. I mean, from what I've been looking at, you take drama in a different direction. Like, yeah, there's drama here, so I'm gonna go here. I ain't gonna go throw a live up and cause turmoil and problems. I'm just gonna say, fuck this shit. This is not my game. I'm not gonna play that. And And I think that's the real maturity that many people still don't have. And they've been doing this longer than I have.
Right. And I'm hearing what you're saying, but I'm also trying to figure out what this comment is about. When was this, Brooke?
He did. Oh, EWE. That was the Fed you were talking about, Dylan Belcher.
She wasn't there then, though. No, Dylan Belcher was in Fight. That was Fight Night, I believe, that I did that with. That was with what's his face? Babcock, Jeremiah Babcock.
Oh man, I remember playing over there. I didn't like anybody over there. I mean, I met I met one friend over there. To this day, I still talk.
Now, this is a comment that's worth putting up here. This is Carrot Cross.
Well, you know what?
Melts my heart every time I hear it.
That's great stuff. I'm gonna have to go over there to check that place out because I've never heard of that place until I talked to you.
Allegiance Championship Wrestling. Yeah, you love it, dude.
Yep.
The thing about it is, the reason why I like it is because it has a zero tolerance on drama and controversy. Like you can in the comment section you can banter and stuff, but if you attack people's promos, you have like one chance, and then the second chance you're booted.
That's how it should be. That's how it should be in a lot of places.
You're also encouraged to either you don't have to heart react to everything, but you're encouraged to at least hit the like button on people's promos.
No, again, that's something too. 'Cause I mean, I've done my promos where I poured my heart out in a promo, and I was like so excited, to an hour later thinking that I'm gonna have a comment or some likes, who's gonna look at it, and then you look at it, there's nothing. It's like, it really makes you feel worthless. It makes you feel cheap. It makes you feel unappreciated, and and it doesn't take long. I mean, if you can watch it, hit a like, hit a heart, say something. And that's what I've tried to do now is I'll go through different companies. I don't compete in some place. I'll just go watch a promo, throw a comment, throw something up there just so they see someone's watching, someone's paying attention.
I'm going to send you an invite right now, actually. It's almost like a TVPG WWE type fed.
And that's what I wanted to play a game like that. I always said I would love to play in have something in a PG, a predetermined, all that type of stuff, just like a WWE style, just to see what they would see of my character. I always wondered that.
What do you mean if you don't get a reaction?
Who, me? What?
I was talking to Lexi.
Oh.
There's another group that I just joined called NGW. Owned by NGW NXT.
And
Jeremy Miller runs it.
It's funny. I recently got added to that, and I had no idea what or who it was.
I didn't either.
And then I believe somebody, I guess this Miller guy, tagged me in a promo, and he had like red eyes, and he was talking all crazy like.
He's a Dark and Graves protege.
And I was watching it, and I was like listening to it, waiting for the name Hammer to come up because I didn't know why I was tagged in it. And I say, is this guy for the World Cup? Is this the guy I'm supposed to compete against? Because I had no idea who he was. And I was trying to figure out who tagged me, from where is this place? I mean, because I was all like, I had no idea I was even there. So I had to really try to figure that crap out. So now it's
you should check out what I did to Justin Chambers last night. Over there, Justin.
I'll definitely check it out. Now that I know what it is, I'll definitely go take a peek at it. But man, there's times I get added to places I didn't even know I was there. I've got booked in multiple places, and everybody's like, "Dude, you're no showing." I'm like, "No showing where?" And I'm getting told there's this, and this, and I'm like, I don't even didn't know that existed. You know,
Right.
so I mean, hey, it's nice to know that they're using the name.
Well, damn, I'm gonna book you everywhere. I'm gonna book you in my new Fed without telling you.
I'm telling you, man, it's like
I would
it's
tell you,
crazy.
bro.
It's crazy.
But
Um,
back to HCW, you know, I said we was gonna talk about the beginnings of a story, history, and everything in between. Um, they're starting to get HCW changed a little bit. Y'all split off into two different shows.
yeah.
I remember your brother being so proud when being the first world champion for one of the shows. Brandon,
That was
well,
right. Yeah.
well deserved.
Oh,
Uh,
definitely. Oh, definitely.
I actually hired him when I was general manager of Riots, uh, and I put him in a match with me. I said, if you want to, your debut match should be against me. So we had a great match. We had a really great match.
That's awesome. I didn't know. Like, you know, when all this was happening, like the riots and everything, I heard a lot of stories. You know, people were telling me this is going on and so on. But
I was ready to put
blacklisted.
Jesse was on his way to a championship before I got let go, so to speak.
Yeah.
Of course, Jesse didn't want to be there if I wasn't there.
Speaking of my brother, he actually just won himself a championship there.
Yeah, he did. Madhouse.
Madhouse, that's it. Yeah.
Very proud of
him. He hit me up right away, and he was just going on. He really was happy. And my brother Brandon just won a championship last night as well. And he's very happy with that too. So you know, it's cool to see my brothers coming into the game and having fun and being appreciated.
Your future brother-in-law is going to win a title, his 7th tag team title tomorrow night.
Hell yeah! Looking forward to seeing it. Definitely.
Does that scare you? The thought that we're 99.9% probably going to be future brother-in-laws.
I won't lie, it used to. No, you know, it used to bother me. I think it's always a typical thing. Anybody, I think people can relate. Anybody who has a pal or buddy or whatever it is, and they date their sister, I think it always rubs the brother off the wrong way for a little bit. I think that's a normal reaction, you know. And that's pretty much all it really was. And
I remember you telling me when she started liking my promos. I remember you telling me I knew this was coming. I knew it once you started heart reacting to your promos.
Knowing my sister the way she was, yeah, I knew my sister right off the bat because my sister had no interest in this game, none whatsoever. And then she started doing the hearts and all. I said, yeah, you know, there was a reason for it, and I knew it, but I just put it in the back of my head. And,
I didn't plan for it.
Oh man, nobody plans on these things, you know. And at the time, I was more bitter just because I don't really know why. I don't even have an answer to it, you know. Nowadays, I don't really have an answer to part of the bitterness game. I was hurt.
I was hurt because I lost a good friend for a long time. But you know, like you said, water under the bridge, and we're getting off topic. I guess because we're getting off topic so much because we haven't talked in so long. You know.
That's true. Yeah.
So now we got 2 shows in HCW.
Yeah.
Eventually, one branches off to become SCW. Am I correct?
Actually, we had the 2 shows for a while, but then we were starting to have less competitors signing up for the cards, and it started beginning where we had 2 shows, but not so many competitors, and eventually we just had to kind of drift away with 2 shows and have 1 show back to the regular basis, and we brought it together for a while, and then it just started. I started getting feedback about. I think I may have been the world champ at the time. I don't remember, but I think I was, and people started, thinking that, oh, it's Hammer's bed. He's the champ, so there must be something to it. And the more I got that, it started putting a real bad taste in my mouth. And I said, I kept in my head, I knew what I was going to do soon. I didn't want to, so I kept holding on. And then the more bad blood I got, I started thinking, the more I hold this title, I'm just making people think that this is bias. And it was there's two things I could have done. I said, I could either drop the title and just go and party somewhere else, or I could give the company to somebody else. People normally would just drop the title, but
Right.
I was too happy doing what I was doing where I was doing it. And I said, screw this shit. I said, you know what? I've owned the company for so long. I've done it for so long, booking and dealing with bullshit and booking and art and this, everything I had to do. I said, it's time for me to just stop running something and just start playing. And that's when I said, Chambers, this guy was equipped. This guy was built to run a company.
Oh, right.
And that was when I just told him, here you go. And he asked if he could change the name. And I told him, well, I'd rather you do, because this way, the new era, whatever it's going to be, it's his era, not mine. My era will always be known as HCW and how it was. Changing the name just, it changed the atmosphere of it. And if it goes well, great. But if it went bad, then it was running the HCW name down. So I thought, well, let him have his own. And that's what we did. And because I still felt weird about it, I remember for 5 weeks, I defended the championship against anybody and everybody. For like 5 matches, I think I did it.
And you probably didn't go to the bank that much.
Yeah. But it was fun. I missed it, but I also was happy it went in a different direction.
It's kind of like a weight lifted off your shoulder, so to speak.
Yeah, it was.
So that's not always a bad thing,
No, it wasn't. I always wondered, did I make the right decision, was wrong? But as time went and it's further away, and now I'm really happy because I think he really did a great job with it. He put it on the map. He really did. And then I recently, well, not recently now, but 6 months ago, I reopened HCW. And I did it for Hack, actually. When Hack saw Duggan passed away, I wanted to open it up just to have a memorial event for him.
Yeah, I saw that.
So I did that just for that match, just for that event, and people started saying, hey, dude, you're going to bring HCW back? We'll come over and compete. So I said, well, why not? We'll see how it runs. And I did it for a while. But this time, I was even more freaking busy than I was the first time I started running one. So I was like, I was missing, is the card coming up? And it's coming up, 3 days later, it was going up. So I kept trying to, pace it to the best I can. I started doing like matches every 2 weeks. And eventually it just wasn't, it wasn't the same anymore. So that was when I reached out to a friend of mine named Justin, and he owned BOB. And I said, hey, yeah, I said, hey, dude, I got a request. Like, what's that? I said,
wait, best of the best or beyond the belts?
Best of the best.
Okay.
And then I just simply told him, I said, I'll make you a deal. I said, I'll give you HCW. Can you keep the name? And he says, dude, I'll do it. I'll definitely keep the name. And him and they BOB and now owns HCW. They do their thing over there. And yeah, some people like it. Some people don't. It's a different style, but they have a lot of competitors playing all there. I've seen a lot of people come in and I didn't even know who they were. But nonetheless, the name's still there, and it's cool to see.
If you're wondering what I'm doing, I'm checking to see who's all active and seeing if they got a question for you. And well, Ass Titan, you got a question for Hammer? No, sorry. So anyway, so after the and I did want to mention this. I did get to have one match with Hackshaw during the Intercontinental tournament. That was during my second run with HCW.
Oh yeah, he was a guy that had really he took this game seriously, really did. Not
And
seriously enough
an
to
actual
like
wrestler.
be,
An actual wrestler.
yeah, an actual wrestler, you know, a good wrestler, a guy who really has a lot of respect for the game. And he was another guy who didn't care about losing, just came in, had some fun, you know what I mean? He was
Right.
more about how people ran a company than he was about winning or losing. I still remember a story where I was running the company, and I guess just like anybody, when a big name came in, you wanted to put them in the world title reign because you knew it was going to bring in the people, bring in the views, bring in the people, the fans, right? So I was
Right.
doing that, and Hackshaw, he hits me up on Messenger, and I bet you if I go back, I still have the damn message. And he ripped me a new one, telling me, "Dude, you're acting just like this other company." And he just told me straight up how it was. And if it wasn't for that, I probably would have continued going that way. But I never got mad at him. I kind of just had
But
my eyes open, like son of a bitch, you know.
but you
And
had yourself a pissy day, didn't you?
yeah, exactly. So yeah, after that, it changed my mind and made me realize. So I started giving the guys who were workhorses, and that was when
Oh,
I
wait.
believe T-Bone was the world champion because he won it in a tournament, and I believe that's when I booked him up against Titan.
Is this true? What Lexi's saying?
No, what is she saying?
You're the one behind the Hammerstone Fed.
Hammerstone Fed. And I've never heard of it.
I think
I've only
you may be thinking about Corey Tombstone.
maybe. The only Fed I've ever really ran was obviously HCW. I helped my brother out in the TNA Fed that's out there. And then I ran a NWA Fed for a bit. I still kind of go in and out of that, just old school style.
And folks, he ran them all into the ground.
Oh yeah.
Just play it.
And then
I love the wicked joke like this.
oh man, it's all good, man. I opened a few different places up just because it sounded cool at the time, and I wanted to see what other people thought of it. And the way I see it, the only way you ever know what type of guys are going to come into your Fed is if you use the ideas. You have an idea, don't just sit there and I'm not going to do it because people are going to laugh at me. You know, you just sit there and say, "This sounds cool. I'm going to go and do this." And if it works, great. If it doesn't work, well, you know what? Throw it down the side. You know.
I remember a project that me and you were supposed to do together. And now it's been done by a few people before, but it hadn't been at the time. You wanted to start your own UFC type eFed.
Oh yeah.
And nobody had done that yet. And you had come to me and asked me if I had some ideas about it, and me and you could run it together. And it just never got off the ground.
So, I remember I put it in a wall a couple times, like people to vote on and see what they would do it. Nobody seemed to really want to get into it, and I think it's one of those things where you have to really have a UFC based fan base,
right?
And I think if you do have some of those, and then you have guys who want to come in and play ball, they would do it. But again, that's just how my mind works. Sometimes, I think if something sounds cool, and I run with it. Sometimes it's bad. I'm not going to go tell you every idea that comes into my head works. Believe me, it doesn't.
I'm on a live podcast with Tony the Hammer Morrison. You got a question for him real quick that you can ask him? This is Jeremy Miller right here that's in GW.
And I want to throw props to Titan, though, just speaking of him. A little story a lot of people don't know. When he was in that, that W place, we won't go any further. They trashed him out. He was world champ. He came out doing something. They didn't like it. They trashed him out. They tossed him out.
John,
Took his title, and that was it. And he basically was he was quitting. He didn't want to do it anymore. He was finished. And that was when I was starting to do the TEW.
Beyond the Belt, you mean?
No. The first one. The one you love the most.
The Land of Two Letters?
That's the one.
Well, yeah, they broke us apart.
No, but this is before you got there. Way in
Oh,
the beginning. Right in the beginning, he was there. Then he was actually the champion in the show I was on, and him and I were back and forth. I would start to run my mouth towards him, and I really loved his character. And then all of a sudden he was gone, and I didn't know where the hell he went. And then I finally reached out to him to find out what happened, and he told me, they booted me, and because they didn't like an angle I was doing, because you know how they were. It was all their script, their rules. There was no like doing anything on your own. It was just their script. At the time.
The choir.
So I reached out to him. I told him, "Oh, dude," he said, "I'm going to quit. I'm done with this. I don't want to deal with it." And I said, "Well, dude, you have too much talent." I said, "Don't quit now." I said, "Why?" I said, "I'm helping run TEW. Come over." He had to think about it, but he came over, and well, I mean, let's face it, the rest is history. Now, I don't know if he would have quit, but he was really down on himself for a while, and it was nice to bring him back, and he had a blast. We worked together often. Storytelling to you wouldn't believe, and I missed it. It was good. So, but it was just nice because he was, like I said before, he was too good to just let walk away.
Yeah, same here, dude. I've had three years. Me and him have been a tag team. Often, I mean, we split up for about a half a year, but I mean, that guy is like he's family to me.
Oh no, I mean, he was like one of the first guys that I really noticed that was good in this game, and reached out to him to pull him in. He was like probably one of the first guys I pulled in.
But you still made him wear a pink shirt.
Oh man, I forgot about that. Was funny. And that's one thing I loved about him, though. He was a guy that he was a guy you could hate as a character.
He put on the pink shirt, really, but he cut a regular Titan promo.
Yeah. And he was a guy that you could put him in a situation in character and he will play it out. He will do it. He will have fun with it. And to me, if more people in the game played that way, the entertainment value would go to the roof.
What do you think about a little group that used to be called the Cult of Personality?
The Cult of Personality, when I first got in the game, I heard a lot of them. I heard about it a lot, right? Because they were like the big thing.
I'm talking
all around. And there were a bunch of guys that I said I didn't want to really get involved with, man, because I thought they'd just tear me a new one. But that's the truth. But I didn't really.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. I was just going to say there's one guy that I personally don't like. Oh, so you don't like from there, and that's Mike Tom. I think he's a piece of crap. But Doomsayer, Taylor Chadwick I think he's one of the greatest and nicest guys in the game.
He is, yeah.
And Damian Lee Guy, my character would be totally different if it wasn't for him. And he didn't even have nothing to do with it. It was just for me being a fan of his and following his career.
Oh, yeah. Damian Lee Guy, I know a little bit of. I mean, we never talked. I mean, I don't think he knows me on a personal level or anything, but I've watched a lot of his stuff and really like how he came out and did things. And Doomsayer, of course, I knew him a lot. Him and I are pretty close, Doomsayer, actually.
Right.
Constantly, we're in SOA together, so I mean, we talk quite a bit. But I definitely a nice guy. I mean, I don't have a bad thing. You know how many wars I had against Doomsayer? I swear, from the beginning of starting in the company that I was in there, I said when I first saw him in a promo, I said, "That's the dude I want to promo with." His style was too cool.
We had a couple of great matches together. Our characters meshed pretty well. Especially a tag team match we had. I forget who my tag team partner was. I think it was me and Malachi Osiris against Doomsayer and Joey Taylor. And that was the first time I got to wrestle Joey Taylor, which I've wrestled Joey Taylor 3 or 4 times. And he's the guy who taught me that there's such thing as a 5-star hardcore match.
Oh, yeah.
I was the longest reigning, and still am to this day, longest reigning IW Alpha hardcore champion. And when I was told I was going to be putting the belt over, I was going to be giving him the belt, putting him over, I was like, I have no problem with that whatsoever.
No, I mean that to me.
He's a great
In this
guy.
game, that's how it should be. When you pass the torch, so to speak. A lot of guys don't do that. I know a lot of guys that I've looked up to who just will not do that, and I never liked that too much because I think in this game, once you've earned the respect, and that's
Right.
the thing I always. That's the biggest thing I tell everybody. In this game, it isn't about collecting championship. It isn't about collecting, coming in here being this and beat this guy. It's always about respect. And that's what I always try to tell people. If you can give the person respect, I said, that's what this place is made about. Because at the end of the day, it's just a game we play. And if they don't like you because you're a dick, well, two things are going to happen. You're going to be the biggest heel, or you're just going to be a piece of trash that people don't give a damn about.
Cult of the Villain. You ever heard of Cult of the Villains?
No, I haven't, actually.
Oh, okay. It's supposed to be a fifth. I'm reading. I missed a bunch of comments here, apparently. That's one of the things about StreamYard. You gotta. And I'm kind of lost on what you're talking about, Lexi. I'm sorry. I apologize.
What if you never gain respect? Is that what I'm reading?
I'm not sure what you mean by that.
I'm thinking if you don't get respect from your peers, if you never get that, like, what do you do? Or what if you don't get respect? Where do you go? It all depends. I think in this game you will get respect, whether it's someone tells you and comes up and says, I respect you. Because, at the beginning, all I ever did was competed, win or lose, and I would hit them up and say, great match, awesome, had a good time. I PM them, shoot shit with them for a bit and then move on and just keep doing that on and on. And when I lost, and let's face it, I lost many matches that I didn't think I lost. And
same here.
I think the biggest thing is just swallow really hard, look at them and say, thank you, had a great match. Because the thing people don't get, when they lose against a guy that they don't think they lost against, they start hating that person, but the guy didn't do shit. It's the judges who did it all,
He just did what he was supposed to do.
Exactly. And one thing Ethan Carnage told me, he said this to me, he said this to many people. He says, there could be 4 judges that judge your promo, and they may like you. They may think you're the winner. But if you got another 4 judges, they may think you're the loser. Because at the end of the day, their opinion on what they're looking for, whether it be intensity, believability, character development, whatever the case they're looking for, everybody's looking for something different. So you can go in there and win with these set of judges in that promo, but you put that same promo in another fed and you would be a loser.
I learned a lot about judging from Ethan.
So when he said that, I really took it to heart. I said, you know what, it's true. Because at the end of the day, whatever you put out, it's never a winner or a loser. It's a good promo, decent promo, but, it's always going to be the judge's opinion that really gives you the win or doesn't. So I think losing matches really test your character, whether you're, as the EFED world likes to call it, butthurt or not. And I think the less you are butthurt and the more respect you give your opponent when you win, when you lose or when you win, the respect starts kicking in slowly.
Unless you're a guy,
and it's hard to do sometimes.
Unless you're a guy like Dustin Woodruff who stays butthurt, but he stays butthurt for different reasons.
Oh, hell yeah. There's so many people out there. No offense. We all heard Justin Klein whine and moan and groan. I don't have nothing bad to say about the guy because, between him and I
love Justin. I love Justin.
I got no beef with Justin Klein. There was a time I couldn't stand the flabby tit bastard. But
he's on my bucket list.
I had a match with him way back in IW a long time ago, actually.
I bet that was interesting.
It was fun. It was. Every time I did matches over there, they always put me over pretty good. Like if I did lose, it was always kind of like, Justin Klein when he beat me, it was a big cheat, roll up, hold the tights type of deal. It was always something like that. It was always fun. yeah, it was always fun going back and forth. And I had fun with Justin Klein.
Was he Officer Klein at the time, or was he too fine?
He was just too fine, Justin Klein, at that time.
I got cash in the bank. I got money in the bank.
Oh yeah, and then when he became
this for you, baby. You're looking at the man.
When he became Officer Klein, I think that was when I was on my way out of IW. I heard of it, but I wasn't around to really.
You little known fact. Here's a good trivia question. You and Michael Miner were tag team champions in IW at one time.
Yes, I believe we were. Yeah.
Michael Scars.
Oh yes, man, you're going back in so much history. I had to really sit there for a second. I said, really? But yeah, that's true.
I know my IW history there.
I believe we were tag champs, and I think I double crossed them at some point. And I stabbed him in the back a little bit and created a huge feud with him, I believe.
That's how they had me do Titan. Me and Titan were Delta Tag Team champions, and we were going to go on to Omega and bring the Delta titles with us and join up with Casey Moran to form the Ultraviolet movement. And I was talked into becoming the face of Delta because somebody didn't want Delta to become the developmental anymore. Wanted me to be the face of Delta. So storyline, me and Titan had a match. Cracked him in the back of the head with a light bulb. I won the Delta World title and became a super heel. Titan went on to Omega, and I stayed in Delta. That was the end of the Hell Brothers for a little while. We didn't want to be.
That was one thing I enjoyed about IW was the storytelling was pretty fun to see. It was really amazing. A lot of the write-up that was done. I really missed that. I really had a good time when I was there, and things were going well. I really enjoyed the angles. I really did. The funny little fact about IW, speaking of when I first got there, was an accident because I was playing video game fed. I just got into the 2K games and I was creating my guy, and I wanted to learn how to create better guys. And then somebody told me there's game feds, and I just
searched for Rob Roman. Talk to Rob Roman.
Yeah, so I started searching it, and then all of a sudden, after I left, I got hit up by somebody. He's like, "Dude, you want to come in promo?" And I'm like, "What the hell's promo? Do what?" He goes, "Oh man, you just come in, you have a match with somebody, and you take a camera, you send your video in." And I'm like, "That's a thing?" And of course, he probably thought I was an idiot. And he had to tell me every detail of what you do. And then the first thing I said was, "Well, damn it, man, that sounds boring." So I didn't do it. I just started playing my video game, doing my thing, and I didn't come near it. But 2 months later, I started getting curious. I said, "I wonder how this works." So I came back, and then my first match, I came in. The story was I walked in. I was a partner for, man, what I can't even remember. Cody. Oh man, Cody Hunter.
Oh boy!
And I basically saved his butt somehow and won the tag team title. So my very first IW match, or I should say my introduction, was I walked in as a tag team champ, which was kind of cool. In Delta, so that's where it started. And then my very first match I ever had in the promo world, period, was against Kyle Ferguson.
I don't know who that is.
Really? Oh man, he goes as Mr. Awesome now. He's quite the character. He's actually in the World Cup.
Okay, yeah.
He's in the World Cup through him, but at the time, he was a darker character in it, and I really liked it. But yeah, he beat me in the match, but they sold it off well, where he had to hit me with his finish move about 5 times. So it was pretty cool. But that was my first match. I had some fun over there. And there's probably a lot of history that I don't remember, for probably good reason. But no, I mean, I it helped me out, got me there, and then I went to the WWPO and did my stuff over there, and then eventually moved on.
I was there when you were there. So.
Yeah, and then I moved on to and I really got trained a lot from Lee over in the WPO. He really helped. He was the one who made the intensity and the hammer, no doubt.
Really?
He's the one who basically I got into a match against him, okay? And I remember I was in my basement, and he tells me, dude,
You mean the bear?
the bear, and he's like, dude, what's your problem? I'm like, what? He goes, man, I thought you had some intensity. Oh, I see what's going on. You're in these other feds. You're getting soft. You're getting to be a pussy.
Did he
Like,
pass
what the- I
away?
was pissed. So I said, yeah, I'll promo against you. And I cut a hype, and then he hits me back. Well, it's getting better, but you're still kind of soft. Well, then I flipped out, screaming, shouting, swinging at things. I was so mad because this guy was calling me a pussy, and I mean, I couldn't do nothing about it. Finally, he hits up, and he goes, there's the hammer. And the rest was history. At that point, he brought out this intensity through me that I didn't even know I had, and I
Did
kept
he
it.
pass away?
What's that?
Did he pass away?
Not that I know of.
Somebody had told me that, but you can't really believe everything you hear in any Fed, of course.
I mean, not that I know of.
I hope not.
I haven't heard anything. But then again, I haven't talked to them in a while now.
Can you
They
still
were
hear
gonna-
this good without the headphones?
I hear everything good, yeah.
Okay. Speaking of W3PO, that was the concept was interesting.
Yeah.
About getting in a fight with your cell phone or your camera. It's just I got so tired of putting my iPad in the Scorpion Deathlock.
I'll tell you, like I told everybody else about W3PO, my honest opinion about it, and I'm going to be straight up with it, was their scoring system I loved. I loved how they show the scores on the promos. I loved how they keep the records of things, and I honestly loved a lot of the story angles they were coming up with.
I loved how Lee would he would watch the promo and then he would close his eyes and listen to the promos.
Yeah. What I didn't like was that you had to grab your cell phone, pretend you're power bombing it,
Suplex
and all that shit.
Broken iPad
to me-
by dropping an elbow off the top of my couch.
Yeah, like when he was telling me about hypes, he says, at hypes, it's about selling tickets. And he would say, advertise like you're doing a commercial. And I thought that was cool. And then you would do your advertising, and then you would basically cut your regular hype against your opponent and do your thing. But it was just a match promo. And I remember telling Tag, I said, I truly think if you turn the match promo the way a lot of other people are just doing it, I think you'd have more success. He didn't agree with me at the time, and then a while later he did. He did, and he was trying to bring back the 3PO, but it just never came in, I don't think.
I would always make, even though I was exclusive, that was one place that I had a deal with David that W3PO always had a special place in my heart because, I'm trying to say this the most politically correct way I can say it. W3PO had a lot of, people that were disabled. And, that tugs in my heartstrings. And I think maybe I spent about a year and a half there. I may have won one match there because I always wanted to put over everybody. Like Cody Burke, Cody Burke.
Nardog.
Yeah, the Nardog. The
Nardog.
Nardog. Champaign, Illinois. The Nardog and Bubba King and guys like that. And I enjoyed putting them over, I thought of myself as more as a trainer or a mentor to those guys. And they looked up to me, and it felt good. And it felt good to put those guys over. So I told David whenever I got to IW, whenever I went exclusive anyway, I said, there's going to be times whenever I'm going to make special appearances in this place called WWWPO. And after he got through laughing at the name, I would do my thing. I had one match against Michael. I put Michael Scars over twice. That shows you how dedicated I was to that place.
Oh, man, I've picked on poor Michael Scars most of the poor guy's career. But all in fun, and he's always good sport. I always loved that guy. I used to call him
He
the
had every
Jobber
tool
of
in
the
the book.
E-Fed world.
He just didn't know how to put them together. He didn't know how to put it all together.
The guy could tell a good story, and he had the ability. But I'll tell, like I've told too many people before, if you're in too many places, it really takes diminish your character and diminish who you are.
Me and you both know
And
that.
you have to kind of like pick a few that you really want to be part of and do your thing. And then if you want to go other places, just tell people, you know what, I'm going to take a break here. I'm going to go over here. Don't overdo it. And I think if he did that, his character would have got better and better, and he would have been one of the best because some of his stories were fun, and he could take a loss. He never moaned about a loss. He moaned about it in character, but never really complained about it, And that was one thing I really had a lot of respect for him.
So I got an idea here. We got how much longer you got to spend with me here?
I don't really have a time frame.
Okay. Well, if we pull an all-nighter, we pull an all-nighter. I'm posting the link to this podcast to join in all these different groups to see if we can get somebody else on with us to maybe we can pick their brain, whoever may show up. But I was wanting to ask you, what's a recent promo that I can find of yours? I'd like to play one on the air right now for everybody.
Oh man, promo of Hammer. Where? That's the question, man. I'm all over the place.
I still have some of the old HCW ones.
Oh man,
I think I got the one. I got one against me.
You probably do, yeah. Might have that. I mean, there's so many out there now. It's seriously.
Here's what you do.
I know.
You go search and type in Tony Morrison Dark and Graves and see what comes up. That's when I had the Sting mask. I used to wear the Sting mask.
Oh yeah. A lot of my best work now has been over in AOW because of the way they do their thing. I've been doing really crazy shit over there, well, character-wise. That's
right. We gotta.
Actually, here's the funny thing. I actually cut a promo over there one time, and I actually knifed myself, bladed myself, and the blood just poured down my face. And to this day, the Arts of Wrestling has banned real blood because of me. So I feel pretty proud of that.
I fucked my hand pretty good tonight. I never did this little light of mine in HCW, did I?
No.
Where I would bust a light bulb. Yeah, that's why this fist right here. See, my index finger doesn't bend all the way.
Yep.
A piece of glass right through a nerve. There's got to be something between me and you on here. I see, Mister. I'm gonna throw a bag of shit in your face. Dr. Grace, throw a bag of shit in your face. Because you're dealing with the Lord of the Sith. Love that guy. I remember y'all, a little known story. I was going to be the third member of, what was you and Havoc's tag team?
Devastation Inc. Yeah.
Do you remember that? I was going to be brought in as the third member.
Yeah, I remember that. Oh man, that's some history right there. I remember that.
What about Southern Fortune?
And Southern Fortune, oh yeah, that was a good team. We got you to join Southern Fortune.
That was the greatest faction to never make it off the ground.
Oh yeah. It was a damn good way to put it. It was a good plan. I thought it would have been fun to finish that.
I actually have a. I'll show it to you. And I saved it. Anytime I lose it, I call Bubba Boudreaux up and get him to send me one. I don't know if you can even see that.
I see it a little bit. Oh yeah.
Of course, I had to be put next to Ric Flair, a sickly looking Ric Flair looking Robin Snyder. I mean, look at that lineup. You got Southern Justice, Tony Baloney, me, which I wasn't nothing special then, but Chad Thibodeau. Good times, man. Good times.
Oh yeah, it was.
I was
It's
talking
so
about
funny.
Tony Baloney was talking the other day about how I had forgotten that me and him both broke into the business at almost the exact same time in our first Feds war at HCW. And
Yeah,
I remember
he came in and he wanted
rolled
to.
the
When I first
shit
heard
out
of it,
of Kenny Joe, typing the number 21 over and over.
I remember the first time he came to me. He wanted to have a tournament, and he wanted to have a tournament for a memorial for I think a friend of his but he wanted to have like a tournament, and the winner gets a belt. We talked about it quite a bit. And then of course, when he got into character, that guy got into character. I really enjoyed his work, and we had fun. Honestly, I mean, I had a couple matches against him. He was good guy, and I mean. Then he disappeared, and I mean, there was a time people thought the man was dead, for crying out loud.
He's smart. He's creative. He's another mentor.
Oh man, I really like his stuff. Like I see him back again, and I watch stuff now. I always enjoy watching his work. He's really good.
You want to hear an impression?
What's that?
I'm known for my good E-Fed. I can do good impressions of E-Fedder. So let me get this. Tony the Hammer Morrison. Just what do you think that you offer against the legendary Tony Baloney? When you step in the ring with me, I'm going to put you in an arm bar. I'm going to put you in a knee bar. I'm going to put you in a back suplex, a front suplex, and then I'm going to lock you in the legendary lock. Woo! Ha 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 ha!
That was good. That was good. Oh man, I remember that stuff. That was. I mean, he actually. There was a time where I started saying, "This guy is good, man. This guy is, can really intimidate some people because of his character." It was always good.
Guys that can intimidate people. Tony Hammer Morrison. Okay. You run your own company and you call it Hammer's Championship Wrestling. I can do the same thing. I can wrestle and snorry tell and spory tell and ABC 1, 2, 3. Hi diddly dee, it's me. Okay. But when you step in the ring with the awesome one, the guy with the big guns, the guy, the master of the hot seat, when I used to take the women and spin them around in the air. And Magic Mike never gave me my money for it, but I don't care because I'm the GOAT, baby. Okay.
Oh man, he's a guy I've never ever competed against. But I always thought, man, if I ever had to go up against him, it would be a hell of a challenge. But always enjoyed his stuff, and I think he's the guy I really consider one of the.
Taught me how to manage between how to control my anger whenever somebody gets too personal, because if anybody gets personal, nobody gets more personal than him. But it is him in character. That's his character.
Yeah.
So he taught me, how to take it easy. Just remember that it's a game. And I was actually flattered that he went out of his way to find a tombstone that said Graves on it to talk to my dead father who's not named Graves, but he pulled up a lawn chair on his lunch break and had a beer. Miss Graves, are you happy to be in hell right now? Huh? But I'm about to send your son Dark in there. You know, your son Dark has got a big mouth. I wish I could find that promo, but
Oh shit! But I think the coolest thing I thought was about him, and I mean, like towards me, because I didn't even think the guy knew I existed. And I think the EWN, when they're always doing the Hall of Fame,
the ER, like he says it.
and then all of a sudden there was one year, you know how they at the end of it they pick so many, and then they have this voters, whoever gets voted in. Well, I was one of the guys that were having the high numbers being voted in, and I thought that was pretty damn cool. And when I was looking at the votes, you know, and I was picking up, I was like, oh, cool, you know. I never really thought much through it. I didn't care if I got into it. I just thought it was cool that there was people voting for me, and he was actually one of them. So I thought that was cool.
Yeah, you know, I'm not championships and wins and all that they're okay and all that. I've always said that they don't matter that much to me, but Hall of Fames and awards do mean something to me because that actually shows that people appreciate your work. And I wasn't butthurt or anything, but I thought it was kind of funny that this year you needed three votes to get in to the big vote, and I had 4. And all of a sudden the rules changed. You had to have 5. So I didn't get to get in. But, you know, it's not time for me yet.
And that's what I say, you know. Like right now, I got inducted in the WKP Hall of Fame.
Ooh.
And then of course, I got inducted to one of the guys had this, I can't think of the Fed name, the Hall of Fame. And I think,
right?
Yeah, and I think recently TWE wants to put me in the Hall of Fame. So I just, you know, some people would say, well, I wouldn't go in this Hall of Fame. To me, if you're going to honor me, I'm cool with it because, you know, you're thinking something of me. So I thought it was awesome.
I got a question for you here. Jeremy Miller, the guy I was talking about, the Lucifer Mordecai?
Yes.
With the red eyes? He says, in all of your years of promo wrestling, what advice would you give a rookie that you know now that you didn't know then?
You know, probably the same advice I always tell people in, you know, like, of course, when it comes to just straight up gain that respect from everybody. Doesn't matter who you are. When you're cutting your promos, same thing, you know, intensity, you know, believability, bring it hard, you know, become your character. Do not be shy in front of the camera because, again, nobody's looking back at you, you know. They're not looking back at you until you send it. So be as comfortable as you can until you're ready to send it. And I think if you really think of it that way, it really helps your confidence. And at the end of the day, man, this is a game. Have some fun with it. Do your thing. Don't take this game too seriously.
Great answer to a great question right there. And I got to comment on this. Isn't that one of the most overused phrases in EFED at the end of the day?
Oh yeah.
At the end of the day, and, let me tell you.
Oh, it is. It is. Or in the promo world, I see. You'll see. I find people use that a lot too. You know, the I see or you'll see, and oh man, there's so many words that I find that get overused in the promo, and I laugh at it now. Back in the day, I never noticed, but
one of my believe it or not, a guy that lives about 15 minutes away from me. Somebody I have a lot of respect for. This guy inducted into the EWN Hall of Fame. I'm sure you've heard of Jagged Subversion. Sean Jackson.
Oh yeah, I have heard him. Yes.
Yeah, he lives not too far from me. I'm gonna ask him if he'd like to jump on with us, if you don't mind.
I got no problem with that.
We'll make this a little conference call here. Do y'all are you guys buds or?
No, I don't really know him too well, to be honest with you. So no beef or anything like that. No.
I see Casey Campbell on. I see Bruno on. I see Matthew Mullins on. I'm sure he's laying in the bed in his baked potato sheets. I see Jack Arson on. I wonder what a Jack Arson, Hammer, Dark and Graves threesome would be like. I don't mean a threesome in that kind of way, but. Oh, Rob Roman. Hey, brother, you want to jump on StreamYard with me and Tony the Hammer Morrison right now for a minute? You got a minute? Rob lives in Germany, so he's the owner of New Era Wrestling. He's the one that puts all the shows together himself. He does the commentating. He does the calls. He does.
Nice.
Michael Windsor's on. Just chilling before heading to bed. I'm actually live on StreamYard, man. I was going to see it with Tony the Hammer Morrison. I was going to see if you wanted to jump on for 5 minutes and say hello. I see my last. Oh God, Roy Cease. That'd be good for just entertainment value. What are you doing up so late, you crazy motherfucker? You want to join me and Tony Hammer Morrison on StreamYard for a minute? Roy Cease, you know, he's. What can you say about the guy? He's something else, but he's something. Dude, his Fed rose fast. WCPW.
Oh yes.
I wasn't there. I didn't have nothing to do with it. He wanted me there for, as he said, for my expertise, which I was flattered by that. But
definitely, yeah.
He didn't. You know, I get that the fact that he didn't want to. He wanted to be like the anarchy thing and say fuck Facebook rules, but you know, you don't have to report people nowadays on Facebook. Facebook takes comments off themselves.
Oh yeah.
And you, to some extent, you gotta watch what you say on there. I mean,
yeah, you definitely gotta watch how you
giving instructions on how to commit suicide. I mean, there's
exactly.
Actually, thanks. I'm actually in bed. But pass out. Well, damn, me and Tony Morrison was counting on you to join us on StreamYard for a few minutes. What's up with all these people going to bed? It's only 2:09 in the morning. Maybe we can plan something for later. Doubtful. Dan, jump on StreamYard with me and the Hammer. So tell us some more about the art of wrestling, dude.
Oh, the arts of wrestling. Hell, man, that's pretty much where I play ball now, mostly. Been there for about a year now, a year and so many months. I don't know how many, but a year and something. And hell, man, the production, the stuff that they do, it amazes the hell out of me. You know, they really make you feel like a professional wrestler, no doubt. They really, truly do.
And a lot of people don't know that it's not a Facebook Fed; it's an actual website.
Oh, it's actually a website. It's the arts with an S. Make sure you always say that because there is an art of wrestling, but theartofwrestling.com. And if you click on that, you'll see pretty much every show that's ever been aired, period. And there's a lot of freaking shows. There's also on YouTube, but I always tell people go check it out because explaining it is never going to be the same. It's one of those things you have to see. But
I would agree.
I came over there and they made me. They were very respectful of me right from the beginning. They acknowledged me from my EFED days, so they don't look at me as this new guy who came in. They made me look like a legend right from the beginning. So I was always cool.
See, I never get lucky when I go into new feds. They know who I am. They'll know who I am and know the work I put in and the history I have, which I'm. Some people consider me somewhat of a legend, but I don't. When I jump into another fed, I don't get that same kind of. Oh, we're happy to have you here. It's like more like, no, we want you here for your controversial shit. We want you here because you burn Bibles and because you set yourself on fire and break light bulbs.
But no, the Arts of Wrestling is a fun play, and it's fair place too. What I love because they have their own judges. They have got a class of judges. Characters they have over there amazed the hell out of me. Some of the guys I've never even met until I got there. So that's the titles they have there. They get shipped out. They get shipped out, and a lot of them get shipped out to you if you win and you keep them. And then there's some that you have to send back if you lose. But he's never really too worried about people, doing what they do because he's got so many. He's got so many, backup titles that he's good. But oh yeah, man, it's a fun place to be. Storytelling galore. You get to watch your promo, mind you say. He puts it in like you're on a Titantron in the video game world, and then you get to see your character on 2K.
With Tony,
Wrestle somebody else because of how you promo. But nonetheless, I've been having a blast over there, and I really enjoy it. Still do.
And that's what it's all about.
That's where, yeah, exactly. And that's pretty much when it comes down to it. I will be eventually, cutting ties with the rest of the EFED world and just settling there, and that will be it. That will be the only place I keep. And at the end of the day, he doesn't force you to be exclusive like some people we know of. He's kind of like, if you want to be, great. If you don't be it. You know what I mean? I remember before he even told me, I said, if I won a title there and I was in another fed and I showed it off, he's like, dude, it's your title. Do what you want with it. And that's how calm he is about things.
19. Sean Jackson can't join us.
It's all good. But that's pretty much where I call home right now is over there. I'm still in SCW. I still do my SCW work, going into a nice big storyline there. Cut ties with everything. Still got a few places that I got to tie up some loose ends. I just dropped the title over in BOB. I've been the world champion there for I don't know how long. And I just recently lost the title to a buddy of mine, KJ Pets.
Was a buddy of mine. He's still a buddy of mine, but the way he was talking about me with Cuckold Woodruff, that was just trashing me to death on EWN. So I have nothing for the guy anymore. I had a lot of respect for that guy. And in fact, Tony, hang on one second. I'll show you how much respect I have for that guy. I'll be back in 2 seconds. I used to say that I would, can you hear me?
Yeah.
I used to say that I would eat, sleep, breathe, and bleed IW. And when they were being cutthroat started the podcast, and KJ got added to it. I actually had 3 of these made, one for each of us. If you can see that.
Nice, nice.
And you know, it's. I've already told you, Lexi, you can be on my show anytime you want. You know, I give KJ the benefit of the doubt because he's a legend and he's a storyteller and he likes to talk. But when you come on my show and the only words that I get to say is and okay, and then you got a cocksucker like Dustin Woodruff calling in purposely trying to start drama, you know. KJ very unprofessionally got up, left the show, cut it off, ruined the show, and now that I'm being trashed for it, I mean, I could care less about it, really. But I thought this would be a fun thing to do here. You know, we might be witnessing something that has never been seen before, and that might be somebody's house getting set on fire on live TV. But this is what I think. KJ Pets and Robbie Cutthroat right now in our old podcast. Since I was sabotaged off of there. Please don't burn my house down, Matt. There's your IW podcast right there. Now that's got to be a rating spike, don't you think, Tony?
Oh, definitely. Crazy shit.
Anyway, yeah, a promo. I want to play one of your promos. If you got something, I think I'm a member of. Let me see what I can type in here. Dylan Mays, I'm in bed, my man. He would have been cool to get on.
Sure.
He likes you, man. We were talking about you earlier.
Well, that's good to hear. I always like it when someone likes me out there instead of doesn't. That's for sure.
You ever heard of a guy named Corey Heck? You ever heard of Corey Heck? Corey Heck.
Yeah, I have heard of him. Yeah.
That's who I'm in a feud with in NEW, man. He's been around.
Right.
He's been around for a long time, and he's in the intensity personified, man. I'm trying to see if William Crow's up. I think the 3 of us would.
Don't mind me. I had someone hit me up, so I was like, "What's going on?"
Tell him to come on the show.
I was trying to. I was just like, "Who is that?"
Is it an E-Fetter?
Man, everybody on my list most of the time are E-Fetters. My best friends are E-Fetters.
It's the same link that I sent you. Just send it to them. Whenever you ask me, Lexi. Now I think it's time to change the ticker at the bottom. I've had it up for a little while. I'm not sure if you can read what that says at the bottom. Can you tell what it says? Word on the street is Dustin Woodruff doubles as a human toilet. Where did Hammer go? Hammer left. Why don't you join right now? I'll send you the link. I gotta figure out what happened to Tony. I don't know if I pissed him off or something. Did I say anything out of line? Maybe I did. I didn't think I did. Uh, yeah, Canadian signals suck. Uh, hey, bro, you want to join me on my podcast? I'm live right now. Me and Tony the Hammer Morrison. Check your PM, Lexi. Hell later, I would, but you can keep on commenting. I can comment, I just can't be on camera. That makes sense. Nonsense. Why'd you send me this in text? You just sent it to me in comment. How the hell do I have 6 viewers right now? One of y'all 6 viewers, come jump on the stream. Come jump on the stream. Jesus. 20 lost signal, so I'm stranded. Somebody could save me. Oh, it's Lady Denon. Ah, Mr. Crowley's on too. Mr. Crowley, if you can hear me right now, or Lady Denon, if you can hear me, come join me on podcast. I'll send you the link. She would be very interesting to talk to. Wow, I went from 6 viewers to 1, and that would be you. Apparently, I pissed some people off somehow. But you know what? That's what I've done my whole career, whether I meant to or not. So I'll tell you what, I'm going to take a small little break, and I'm going to play something that's near and dear to my heart. We spoke about Mr. Ethan Carnage. I've always talked about this promo that he did that put me on the map when he didn't have to, put me over. You know, I kind of like to play that. So, yeah.
I don't mean to be rude, and I don't mean to impede upon your business.
Lexi, let me know if you can hear this good.
But something I've seen because I watch everything and struck my fancy, and I just need to get something off my chest. Well, my matters, my name is Ethan College. I'm a competitive over on IW Alpha.
Whoops. Can you hear that good?
Ladies and gentlemen, TV, what do I see? Well, you see a gentleman, Mr. Graves. Dr. Graves, I believe your name is, and I see such hate in your eyes. I see such anger pouring from your mouth. It made me think for a moment. I listened to your story about how others dismissed you, treated you like common garbage threw you in the streets, devalued the words that came from your mouth, son. I must say, my heart goes out to you. Members of IW Delta, I'd like to tell you a small little story. Back when I was young, I went to this little preparatory school, and there was this little boy named Timmy Johnson. Now, Timmy, I tell you what, his parents must have loved him. They fed him every sweet you could think of. Little fat, round boy, everybody picked on him. Nobody really liked him. And you know who was the instigator of it all? It was his sister. Called her Clementine because she, to your eyes, was as sweet as a Clementine orange. Her real name, though, was Carol. Beautiful, strawberry blonde hair that came down for a young boy. Her bosoms were just the right size. What we fascinated about her, we didn't bother with her, and she loved the attention that came from us. While she was mean to little Timmy, she'd point out every bit of his flaws. She'd smear pastries all over his locker. She called him Fat Timmy, little Winker. When he walked down the hall, she'd go, and everybody gave a laugh.
Timmy.
Except Timmy. Timmy found solace in a dark path. He began to change. His demeanor began to change. You could see that hollow, sunken look in his eye, almost like fate. But then, just like a dark basement, the furnace kicks on. You felt the heat. You saw the flames pour from his eyes. We always supposed to go to Timmy's house for his 13th birthday party. Parents sent out invitations, beautiful blue and gold foil. I remember it to this day. I remember I had to get all dressed up. I had present in hand. Parents pulled up to his house to drop me off, and instead of seeing balloons and clowns and children and laughter running around, we saw yellow police, blue and red lights flashing, a forensics van, and scores of officers. Well, I did not see what happened with the papers. They told a colorful story. Little fat Timmy killed Carol to sleep. It seems his father was diabetic. So as she slept, he took one of his father's needles and injected her with bleach until she died. Gagged her mouth as the pain sealed through her body so no one could hear. When that didn't work, he decided to cut out her voice box and lay it on the pillow next to him. And I remember the question that was asked, almost dumbfounded to this day, was how did Timmy get to this point in life? What path did he go down? What wrongdoings happened? How did we fail Timmy? The answer was in front of you the entire time. Ladies and gentlemen, Delta. Because I care so much, you need to understand that that same fire sometimes
And I can't think of a better way to end this podcast tonight. Let me explain something, please. Yes, I got a little emotional there. Not because of the story, because it was just that. It was a story. Of course, there was no little Timmy that killed his sister. I got emotional because this is. I was 45 minutes into IW, and this man took the time to watch me when he didn't have to do this and put me over like that. Not only did he do that, he became a mentor to me. He had me induct him into the Hall of Fame. And what he said at the end there, for the world was meant to be built and burnt to the ground. If you've ever seen my intro, it says at the bottom exactly that. If you've ever seen my Darkened Graves t-shirt that Johnny Christ Baby made for me, the back says, for the world was meant to be built and burnt to the ground. And I asked him, Ethan, I said, I want to use that as a catchphrase, but I don't want to use it unless I have your permission. And him being the class act, he's like, no, of course you can. And I love that. I love him just like a brother. And every time I listen to that, it just touches me. And I don't know what happened to Tony. I want to thank Tony the Hammer Morrison for being here tonight. I think this was great. It was a great podcast. I think I just said I'm a little choked up about it. If I offended anybody, I really don't give a fuck, because you people offend me all the time. I only offend people that offend me first. So, eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth, motherfuckers. So Dustin Woodruff and KJ, y'all keep running y'all's little big suckers on EWN. That's fine. I'm not going to read it. You play with shit, you get it on you. And I'm a clean guy. I take baths. So with that, it's only the Hammer Morrison. My name is Darkened Graves. I want to thank Brooke and Lexi for being the ultimate greatest comment section divas, not divas, but comment section cheerleaders, supporters of my podcast. Without them, there would only be maybe one other comment. I don't think anybody made another comment besides Lexi and Brooke. So thank y'all. And so for the Hell Sisters, for Tony the Hammer Morrison, hell for Ethan Carnage, since he was a part of the podcast, you don't even know it yet. I'm Darkened Graves, and as always, unholy mind. I'll see you next time.